24-23. I had said before the season I worried about San Francisco. J-Mac is my witness. I said I think they've peaked. They're getting very old. They're getting very reliant on Christian McCaffrey. I did not like all the money talk and the noise in the offseason. That creates some animosity. There are reports this morning from a reporter, Mike Silver, that there's a weird vibe in the locker room. And this morning, here's what we know about the Niners. They've beaten the Jets and the Patriots. And their defense, the names are bigger than production. It's just not that intimidating. Windows close because of the regulated level of violence very quickly in the NFL. Players get old fast. The only thing that lasts a long time in this league is the great coach, great quarterback combination. Walsh and Montana, Belichick and Brady, Reed and Mahomes. You get the right coach and the right quarterback, that puppy can last a long time. But does this sound like it lasts a long time? Super physical team that's solid at quarterback. Now, I know what you're saying. Brock Purdy's more than that. Folks, Brock Purdy in his career now, it's been established. When he leads, bit of a front runner, 131 quarterback rating. In his career, when Brock Purdy trails in the fourth quarter, his passer rating is 62. He is good when he's comfortable. He's good with a lead. He's not good trailing. Here comes the house, and everybody knows you've got to throw it. And that is the difference between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy. If you know he's throwing, he's not anything other than ordinary. The roster's physical, but when you watch that game, it was Arizona that was spry and dynamic and twitchy and had young stars, McBride and Kyler and Harrison on offense. That's what it looked like to me. I just don't see and I don't feel the magic with the Niners, and maybe it's just this. Christian McCaffrey's the magic. About 3 or 4 times a game, he turns a 3 to 4 yard gain into a 24-yard gain. Kyle Shanahan's record without him is a losing record. And I like Kyle, but I don't see the special. They blew another fourth quarter lead. They've become a terrible red zone offense. Last year, they were the #1 red zone offense. Now, they're one of the worst. 22 trips, 9 touchdowns. What's missing? Christian McCaffrey. That's it. Same O-line, Debo, Kittle, Kyle, same names on defense. Why are they so bad in the red zone? The magic was Christian McCaffrey. I had said they're getting too Christian McCaffrey reliant, and the numbers bear it out. Kyle Shanahan on blowing another game they had won.
Extremely frustrated. I think we had 13 points and 17 in the other. By no means should we be able to give that away. Always will come back to turnovers, in my opinion. There's other things you can do to overcome them. Talked about last night how we thought a key in this game would be turnovers, and that's exactly what the first half was. Gave us a huge advantage, and then it flipped in the second half, and when you do that, it's tough to win.
Listen, Belichick, Andy Reid, they'll all tell you the quarterback is more valuable than the coach. But there are these rare instances, Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, Christian McCaffrey. They may not be quarterbacks, but they drive the operation. And without Christian, they get into these situations in the red zone where he would turn a 3-yard gain into a clever 7-yard gain and a touchdown. I mean, that game, Kyler Murray threw a pick to Bosa. Block kicks. It was there for the taking. Just like the Steelers. It was there for the taking. And they couldn't do it. It was Arizona with a more dynamic, younger, athletic offense making plays. Here's J-Mac with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Can I just defend Purdy for a quick second? 49ers scored 23 points in the first half. Didn't punt in the second half and lost. I don't think you could pin it on Purdy or Shanahan. Their kicker got hurt, Colin. So they had a turnover on downs when it was 4th and 20. They're like, we can't kick. Let's just throw 15 yards to Kittle. They had the unlucky Mason fumble. Like, it was just, that was a wacky game, right? I mean, you don't think there's major problems?
When Tom Brady would get a block kick for a touchdown and a defensive lineman intercepting the ball, he wouldn't complain about his kicker. That game, at home, Arizona, off a blowout, better roster. Why can we only, when it's convenient, compliment Purdy? They needed, because I'm watching Kyler make crazy plays. His special teams screwed him over, making crazy plays. You got to be able to win those games.
4th and 5, he made the jump ball off his back foot to Harrison.
No, he's
to save the game.
I know people don't like.
That was a nice play.
No, I mean,
had a good game.
I mean, listen, he's 5'9". He can do only so much from the pocket. Oh no, he's a crazy athlete.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. I see where we're going here. It's a Purdy Jets show. Okay, I like it. Let's start with Texans receiver Stephon Diggs. He got the last laugh in a revenge game against the Bills. They actually got lucky to survive that game, which was a crazy game. Diggs and the Bills quarterback Josh Allen downplayed the storylines around the separation of those two. After the game, Diggs said this one meant something to him.
Well, obviously playing my old team, I'm not going to sit here and act like it was just regular. You know, it meant a lot to me. And it was reassuring that the guys around me knew that it meant a lot to me, even if I didn't say it. You know, because I try to just keep it poised or treat every week like it's the same.
You know, I like the fact that Stephon Diggs was totally authentic there and admits, yeah, it did mean a lot to me. I love that. I mean, most people are like, no big deal. It's like, no, I don't like the way it ended. That meant a lot to me.
I'm surprised he didn't take any jabs at Josh Allen having one of the worst games any quarterback has had in like the last 9 of 30.
Yes, it was bad.
Meanwhile, Diggs' guy Stroud looked pretty good for the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
But yeah, where are you on the Texans? 4-1, you know.
No, I like them. Listen, they have all the components I like. Coach, quarterback, left tackle, edge rusher, star weapons. I do think C.J. Stroud needs Mixon. I remember when they signed Mixon, you and I were like, this is a huge story, and it was kind of like Joe Mixon. Young quarterbacks especially. By the way, Caleb Williams last 2 weekends had a run game. It's amazing. Caleb Williams looks more poised and under control. I like them a lot. I think they're a bit young to be a Super Bowl hoisting team in the AFC. But if you look at this schedule, there's a lot. They got Tennessee still twice.
Yeah, Patriots this week should be a dub. It feels a little like the Bengals team with Burrow that went to the Super Bowl. I mean, Colin, with Nico Collins healthy, they were dominating the Bills early in that game. 14-3, like running away with it.
Their point differential this year, despite their record, is -12. They need their run game. Again, the foundation's there. Quarterback, coach, left tackle, edge rusher, weapons. That's where the league starts. I do think, though, Stroud at this point, I mean, everybody needs a run game. By the way, if Joe Mixon was still a Bengal and they weren't so cheap, the Bengals wouldn't be as reliant on Burrow. They'd have better ball control, so their defense wouldn't be on the field. They're so Burrow-dominated in Jamar Chase. What's happened, it's not just defense. You let Mixon go. You don't control the line of scrimmage and the clock. I mean, if you have an average defense, one of the ways to save it, keep them fresh. Run game, right?
Yeah.
So Cincinnati is now all Burrow and Chase, no run game, and their defense is totally exposed.
I will say Texans-Bills was a crazy game, fun game, wild. It didn't feel like two teams that are contenders for the Super Bowl.
I agree, totally.
A lot of screw-ups. I mean,
lot.
McDermott's under fire right now for the way he handled
I'll
the
get to that in a second. That was embarrassing.
Very bad. Next up, hey, how about this one? Sean Payton and Bo Nix got into it on the sideline yesterday. Your guy, 2 of your guys, you love these two. Many people brought up last year where Sean Payton and Russell Wilson got into a heated debate. But the back and forth here with the rookie quarterback, a little bit different. And here's Sean Payton.
It's part of the deal. Listen, there's still a little bit of Ferris Bueller in this player that we got to get rid of. All right, talking about Bo, and I love him to death. And so sometimes it's my love language.
I love that. And they both apologize. Ferris Bueller meaning he's a little mischievous. He's going to kind of do things, and he's not going to ask for permission, which is Ferris Bueller's Day Off remains one of the great films, comedies of all time. But I think what he's saying is he's going to do what he wants to do. He's had 61 snaps in college. He comes in with kind of an identity, and this is what I do. And he's trying to get that little mischievous, I'm going to do things without asking for permission, out of that. But I will say about Bo Nix, he may not throw it, he's not a big deep ball thrower. He is way more athletic than people give him credit for. He can, now, not Jaden Daniels, but the dude can move.
I feel like he's probably as athletic as Caleb Williams. I don't. Is that crazy to say?
Well, he's not as big as Caleb, not as power.